Welcome guys, this is Mr. Pineapple. Today I will show you how to create this pretty cool car driving simulator game. You can be a complete beginner, you don't need to know really anything, just follow along and you will be able to create it. All the source code and the full project file will be available at patreon.com and you can find the link in the description. Please like and subscribe guys. First of all, create a new project, select 3D, name it, select your install location, whatever you have to begin with is probably good, hit create. Bring home the Oculus Intergration from the Asset Store. If you don't have this tab, go Window, Asset Store, search for Oculus Intergration. You're gonna have an import button here or a download button. If you have never downloaded it before, hit download. Once it's downloaded, hit import. Click yes and accept whatever pops up when you import it and you have to restart Unity. This is all automatic, just accept everything. Switch the build settings to Android. Build settings, Android, ASTC, LC4. The switching might take some time, so don't worry. It took me probably 10 minutes. Hit the player settings. Change the color space to linear. Remove Vulkan by selecting it, hitting the minus sign. Android 7 till 9 or whatever is new. If you're watching this in the future, take whatever is the latest. Set this to .NET 4X. Check Android TV compatibility. And that's everything for other settings. Now go to XR settings, check virtual reality supported, plus sign, the Oculus. If you're on the Quest, check V2 signing. You don't have to. It's not a huge thing, but I do it sometimes. Single pass, select time. The Oculus runs on 72 Hz, so we want the fixed time step to be at 72 Hz as well, or else the game might be a little bit jittery. Now go to quality, remove everyone except very low, call it Quest, and just do what I do. Per texture, 4x multi-sampling. Yeah, make sure you have these settings. If you never changed these before, they will be different. And that's all for the settings. Add open scenes and try to build and run just to make sure it works. And obviously your Quest needs to be plugged in for that step. Now it's built out to the Quest, put it on and see if you got an empty scene in there. And that worked great for me. If it didn't work for you, go to console, see what kind of error message you got. Try to Google it, or you can ask me in the comment section. I answer every question. So hopefully it works for you, and let's move on. If you are using the Oculus link, from here on out, I will test by hitting the play sign in Unity. If you're not using the Oculus Link, every time you want to test, you're gonna do the build and run, Control B, or build and run here, or build settings and build and run. Then it will build out to the Quest and you can put your headset on and test your build. I suggest you figure out how to deal with the Oculus Link. It will save you a lot of time. But if it's not working, sometimes it's buggy, just build it out to the Quest like normal. So next we want some kind of city to drive around in. I'm gonna do the easy thing and find a low poly city in the asset store. Now hit download, then import. I have already downloaded it, so I only have the import button. Low poly means that there is relatively few polygons in the mesh, so that it is less taxing on our hardware, and we need to be as nice as possible to our Oculus Quest, so low poly is the way to go. So now head back to our scene, select the newly downloaded folder, the scene folder, drag their scene, their pre-made scene, into our scene, select everything inside their scene and drag it into the sample scene, which is our original scene. Now you can remove the one we just imported, and we now have a whole city in our scene. Quick and easy. But we don't want all these cars in the streets. We want to be the only car as of now anyway. So in the hierarchy, search for car, select all of these, and deactivate them or delete them. It's up to you. I'm just gonna deactivate them right now in case I want them later. Now remove the search for car here, so we get the normal hierarchy. And now it's time to bring in our car that we're gonna be driving. So it's time to import the car. Create a new folder, call it car, and here import the car you want. The car I'm using will be available with the full project set up in Patreon. However, you can find another car online, or in the asset store, or just make a block, a makeshift car. It doesn't really matter. If you download a 3D model of a car, you want to extract the textures and extract the materials whenever this is done. To get the car here in the inspector window, you need to select it in your car folder. Then you get this, so you can extract the textures and the materials. And there we go. Now put your car in your scene. Your car might be way too big or way too small for the scene. Then you change the scale here. So just, change it until it fits. But mine was perfect from the start, luckily. This doesn't happen very often. Now we want to place the player inside the car. So search for OVR camera rig and drag it as a child of your car. Then place the player in the car, and then we can change this later. Replace it somewhat good right now. That's good. And you switch between scene and game on these tabs. You can also stay in the game tab and switch the player once the player is selected in the hierarchy. Switch the player position by clicking and dragging and changing these values. Whatever feels best for you. Let's add the wheel colliders to the wheels. They are provided by Unity for free, so it's very easy. Just find the wheels inside your car. I've got so many tabs. There we go. Select all of them. Add wheel collider. Select the car. Add a rigid body. And give the car some mass. 1 kilo is too little. I'm gonna say 1000 for now. We might have to change these values later, but just give it something. And give it a little bit of drag. It's not important, but I like it. And as you can see, now the wheel colliders are visible inside the wheels. Select all the wheels. And we need to resize the wheel colliders to kind of match the size of the wheels. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's good if it's somewhat close. And then we also want to move them because they are in the middle. We kind of want to have them at the edge of the wheels. So let's put these two at the edge. And then we move this one separately. There we go. And there we go. If we press play now, it's gonna jump around, and that's because we don't have a box collider at the car yet. So let's add it. Select the car, box collider. Now make this pretty much as big as possible. Oops. Without touching the wheel colliders. That's good for now. Let's play again. And now it's not jumping around. Awesome. So go to your assets folder, create a new folder, call it scripts. Create 2 scripts. The first one being player input. The second one being car controller. Open up the player input script by double clicking it. So copy this script. I will create a tutorial or a walkthrough video where I explain all the code. It will be available at Patreon. However, I will show you all the code you need right now. So just pause and copy this, everything. Back in Unity, double click the car control script and do the same thing here, just copy everything. Oh, actually this is not needed. Now back in Unity, keep the car selected, add component, and we add the 2 scripts we just created. Just like this. And we need to add the wheels to these arrays, or the lists we created. So for throttle wheels, if you want front wheel drive or back wheel drive or all wheel drive, it's up to you. For now I'm gonna make this, let's make a 4-wheel because it looks like a 4-wheeler. So front left, front right, rear left, rear right. And for steering wheels we only want 2. We only want the front wheels. So front left, front right. And now I want to test this. If you're not using the Oculus Link, you do build and run. If you want to use the Oculus Link, you need to switch to PC, Mac and Linux. Switch platform. This might take some time. So now the build settings has switched. I'm ready to try it with the Oculus Link. Using the right touch controller. It seems to be working. Very slow, but there's some small adjustments to make. Select the car. Up the weight to maybe 5,000. You can play around with these values as you like. There's no right or wrong really. I'm gonna put this to 500,000. Let's test again. And there's no colliders on anything in the city right now, so I'm not colliding, but you could easily add those if you want to. Let's bring in some motor sounds to the car. So create new folder, sounds, find some sounds online. My sounds is available on Patreon. Let's add an audio source to the car. And this will loop for the whole time. So just play on awake and loop and play and test. Awesome. So that's basically it for the actual driving of the car. Now let's add some zombies to the crosswalks that we can hit with the car. Save it in a folder, but not directly into your project, but in some other folder. And then we import it. Oh. Zombies, save. Next, find some animation you like for the zombie. I want it to just be standing still but doing something. Let's do a hip hop dancing. Let's do that. Yeah, sure. 60 frames, width skin. You can leave the rest, download, save in the same folder. Back in Unity, create a new folder, call it zombies or whatever kind of character you are using. And then import the zombies we just downloaded. Select the T-stand zombie. Select Use External Materials Legacy. Click Apply. Now drag this zombie into the scene. Right click in the zombie folder, create animation controller, name it zombie animation. Select the zombie and drag the animation to the animation controller slot. Now select the controller and open the animator. If you do not have the animator tab, go Window, Animation, Animator. Now open the dancing zombie prefab. Get this controller, this animation, drag it in here. Name it dancing. And this is the default transition, so this will happen right away. We don't have to do anything else. And now, if we press play, the zombie should be dancing. Look at that. That's one happy zombie. Now, find the zombie, can rename it. Ragdoll. Now, drag the body parts to the correct slots. The names will not match perfectly, but just do what I do and we'll be fine. Create. It's time to add a script to the zombie. So select the zombie, add component, call the script zombie or yeah, whatever. Open the script and copy this code. Select the car, add component, box collider, and make this collider just a little bit bigger than the other one we have. Oh, wrong one. God damn. It's good enough, and make it check is trigger. Now go to the zombie, F to focus, add component, capsule collider, make it higher, and there we go. Now we should be able to hit the zombie and he should die. Maybe the collider is not far enough outside the car. That's weird, it should be. Let's make it a little bit higher. Try again. Fuck. Let's make the zombie collider a little bigger then. There we go. Great. Okay, and one thing I forgot to tell you. You need to create the tag. Select the car, tag, add tag, a little plus sign, call it car, the same way it's spelled in the script. select the car again and apply the tag, because in the script we are checking for the tag of the trigger that enters, and this is the car. So I also want to add some kind of sound once we hit the zombie. So open up the car controller, add a public audio source and a public audio clip. Create we gotta make it public so it can be called from the zombie class, because now right here now the sound should be played when we hit the zombie. However, we need to import the sound too. And as usual, find something online or my sounds in the source. Let's do this one. Add an audio source. Drag it to the audio slot. Let's test it out. So the sound played, but we had some jitter when we drove over the dead zombie. So add these lines of code in the ragdoll method. This way we turn off the colliders once the zombie dies, and we turn them on when we activate the zombie. And now it works. Awesome. Now drag the zombie into your zombies folder to create a prefab, original prefab. Now you can remove the one we have in the scene, or just move it to wherever you really want it to get hit. So I'm gonna put them, Control D to copy. I'm gonna put them at all the crosswalks. I'm gonna pause this video because it's not gonna be interesting. So let's test this out. Oh, the animation is not looping. To get it to loop, find the dancing animation, select it, go up here in the inspector, edit, and find loop time, apply. Now this should be dancing indefinitely. And that works. So I'm gonna up the speed. I'm gonna double it to 100,000. I'm also gonna open up the car controller script. It's the player input, because going backwards is very slow right now. So we're gonna try this instead. Test it out. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. I think this is enough for one single tutorial. You can obviously do a lot of modifications to this, add more sound, and yeah, make a game out of it, whatever. If you get any value from this, please like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon for all the source code. Yeah, pineapple out.
Understood.